Radical. Welcome to part 2 of Radical Rapid Fire Cop Response for February 7th through February 13th, 2022. Short comments, quick replies. Patrick Hewitt. You want to see an e-bagger? Laugh out loud, go look at the Retro Dodo, Retro Future. He's been crying for 10 minutes about his bike being stolen and dumped in the ocean. As usual, the comments are flooded with, can I give you money? Lord, this is pathetic, being an adult. Well, to correct you there, Patrick Hewitt, it was not 10 minutes. It was around 2 minutes. I have a copy of that upload. I do. So, thanks to the person responsible for allowing that to happen. Gets rather annoying when I can't actually do my critical satire because I don't have the uploaded YouTube upload, why is it though, Patrick, we have situations to where it's always usually water around these YouTubers and their sympathy uploads? Whether it's Metal Jesus with the basement leak, whether it's 8-Bit Guy with the house being ruined and flooded, whether it's this guy with the bike that was thrown in the ocean, whether it's Camelot 331, with the doggone it, all the watery tears. Seems like there's always moisture around these scams, isn't it? Dumez, I just got given to me a free Harman Kardon receiver amp. Freaking e-bagger there, Dumez. I'm sorry. You didn't pay anything for it? I think that qualifies you as an e-bagger. Not sure how to spell it. Modern enough to have an HDMI input. Anyone that reads this, should I expect it to be decent? Yeah, Harman Kardon is good stuff. So is Onkyo, in my experience. Which means unless, it was like something that happened where you actually traded something for that, you really should have paid something for that. So, shame on you, Dumez. Quit your e-bagging. Bet y'all didn't expect that, did you? Sean A. I'd stay away from the Retron. I had the 5 and it was not compatible with every game. I'd suggest analog consoles if you want accuracy. Yeah, I've heard that some of the games aren't really compatible on the Retron. Now, I think before you make the claims, that these people make on these Retron consoles of types, there's a lot of different types, right? You should have a list of incompatible games. You should put every single game through the paces. If you're trying to emulate the NES, then guess what? You need to have every single game and go through the paces. Maybe outside of possibly stadium events or the super rare ones, like the gold cart. It's reasonable that, you wouldn't have access to a gold cart, for instance. So I think people could accept that you didn't have that play on it. But how many games did not work on the Retron, Sean A? Sinister Moon, I really want to see a no-swear gamer video from you. He's against the Amico, but he also has around 150 patrons. I'd love to see how you address that. At this point, it's like you're saying e-banging is totally fine as long as trash people like the content. Well, there's a lot of people that are now on the Pat the Nest Punk train. They used to criticize. Maybe they forgot that they criticized Pat the Nest Punk because of that Diablo stuff. It's kind of weird how people just kind of forget stuff, right? And Ian there, telling people to sit your fucking asses down. They forgot that because all this Amico stuff, right? People have a selective memory. People that come here for years against e-beggars, supposedly, they have selective memories when it comes to Pat the Nest Punk, right? So I point this out and people's heads just explode. I think it's people are a prisoner of the moment. And once we're past all this Amico stuff, which we're getting to the point where we will be past this, it'll just be a memory, right? People will look back and say, you know what? That guy was kind of an e-beggar, But, granted, Pat the Nest Punk, not one of the bigger e-beggars on the platform. And this no swear gamer, yeah, I could have an upload, but it would basically just be, Radical Rapid Fire. Yeah, I'm going to go forward here. Yeah, it's the format, right? Dan Smith, it's just not looking good for Intellivision. I don't blame people for pulling out. I would feel uneasy too. And I told you this in a reply, Dan Smith. Pulling out is, it's something that is needed unless, you wrap it. But that's your last chance. Unless you want to spawn a baby, that's your last chance. I would feel uneasy. Like, I don't have children. I would feel uneasy at this point, because I have a lot of things left to do in my life that I want to do before, if I ever make that decision to have children. I would feel really uneasy, by not pulling out, and wrapping and pulling out, Yeah, it's kind of a weird reply to that, but MIDI music forever. Lending money to pay back other lenders sounds familiar. Wasn't a guy doing that back in the day? What was his name again? Ponzi, right? Well, I don't know if this is specifically a Ponzi scheme in structure, because, if you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, basically some guy created a business of just taking money from somebody and giving them a return. Let's say, you take a $5 investment and then you give them $10 back or something like that. Well, how you get that money is you get new investors to come in to give money. And basically the new investors are giving money to the old investors. There's different scams set up like that. So I don't know if this is specifically a Ponzi scheme exactly, but it definitely right now is a scheme, because the people giving money, the new investors in Amico, are actually going to put their money towards things that aren't actually the Amico coming to market. So the Start Engine specifically is a great example of the current scam that's running, because Tommy and the gang, they know it's not going to be mass produced. This is not going to be something that's mass produced. It's going to be an actual console that's beside store shelves at Best Buy. They know that, but they're taking this money fraudulently from new investors. Diego Ramos 24. You obviously don't talk to many women. If you seriously think they all know what they want by the age of 20, laugh out loud. I listened to that upload, which was talking about the gnome. The gnome guy, Keemstar, who dated somebody half their age. I had a commentary talking about that, and I listened to it twice. And I don't know if you're referring to me, Diego, which would be weird. I don't know where this comment came from, if you're referring to someone else, but it seemed like it was addressed to me. I assure you, Diego, I have talked to more women probably than you and most other men ever. And I'm not saying that I've bedded more women, but I'm very good at communicating with women. I'm one of the best communicators of women that, I won't say it existed, because that sounds like I'm just kind of like bragging, but I've always been very good at communicating with women, and that results in me having a past of like bedding multiple women, So when the time comes where I want to choose one to spend the rest of my life with, I have a good example, a good sample size of kind of like what I would want. And the thing is about women, there's a point there that they don't know what they want by 20, but the thing is, women, though, it's a trick statement, because most women have no idea what they really want. Stephen M. If Rodgers gets traded to another team like Denver or Indy, you can bet the NFL will do anything they can to help them win the Super Bowl, like they did Brady and Stafford. Here's something that I could bring up that I just didn't even think about. Not only have the last two Super Bowls, just proving that all this is rigged, not only have the last two Super Bowls had home teams playing in it, but the home teams went over, but the next Super Bowl, I don't think they would be cheeky enough to try this, because then people would there would be nobody that would argue against it being rigged. The next Super Bowl is in Arizona. What's going on right now in Arizona? There's a contract dispute between Murray and the management in Arizona. So he might be on the outs, because I don't think they're going to give him the kind of deal that Josh Allen has, or 6 years. Not with what he has shown. Well, I say what he has shown, but not with everything that has played out. Right? So that's a possible location that the Packers might actually trade Rodgers to, or he might go to. But I don't think they would try that. I think Stephen M. They're thinking about it. They're leaving the option open there, because just think about this. It's kind of weird that in Arizona's the next Super Bowl and Kyler Murray might be on the outs. Now, if he leaves that team and then they get another quarterback and that quarterback winds up winning a third time, I think there would be nobody, Stephen, that would say it was not rigged.